Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Now today I'm going to have a look at a puzzle sent to us by Peter C. Hayward of Jelly Bean Games. Now, as that name suggests, Peter says he's a full-time games designer and he's recently been inspired by our channel to try out designing some Sudoku. So this is one of the results, and he calls this puzzle Hang 10. Now, as well as the normal Sudoku rules, what we've got here is a grid with 10 cages in it, and the extra rule is that each of those 10 cages sums up to a different number between 1 and 10. So there's obviously one each of the numbers 1 to 10 in those cages. And I'm going to have a go at this now. Let's get cracking, see how we go. So there's not a lot of givens in the grid. That 5 and that 5 and that 5 force 5s not to be in any of those cells in this box, so we can place one digit at least, a 5 there. And Snyder notation lets me put a 5 in one of those, but I don't think we're going to get very far with just the givens because there just aren't enough. So the cages are going to matter, and we know, as I said, that each of them sums to a different number between 1 and 10, and I'd have expected to see more single cell cages than just these two. So I think maybe what we're looking at here is a puzzle with the maximum number of cells in cages that this constraint allows. And look, there's a single 4-digit cage. Now, the minimum number that a 4-digit cage can have by killer rules, which involve that they have to be different numbers in the cages, is 10. So this is the 10 cage. 3 clearly can't be in any of those cells, so it must be there. This one with a 1, 4, 3 above it, that must be 2. This must be a 1, 4 page. And I think this is how it's going to work. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 3-digit cages. And the minimum for a 3-digit cage is 6. So in some order, these must be 6, 7, 8, and 9. And the 2-digit cages must be 3, 4, and 5. And these two single cell cages must be 1 and 2 in some order. And they're in the same column, which is interesting. But now, yeah, okay, these 3 2-digit cages are 3, 4, and 5. So they're 2, 1, 3, 1, and the other one would be either 2, 3 or 1, 4. But look, none of these cages can contain a 4. These two are in the same box as that 4, these two are in the same row as that 4, and these two are in the same box as this 4. So they must all be the digits 1, 2, and 3 in some order. Now, how can we work out anything more? This one is a 1 or a 2, so one of these must be a 3. That can't be 3. That doesn't tell us very much. Maybe we're going to need some further help. I mean, these two add up to 4 or 5, but I still can't tell which of these is the 3 cage, made up of 1 and 2. Oh, I can. Look at this is interesting, right? 2 here and 2 here. They're ruling out some of the available cells in this box, those ones. And that means there's a 2 in one of these two. And what that means is that this is not a 2. We also know that this is not a 2 because of this 2. So this box up here, or this cage rather, is 1 and 3. So that adds to 4. This must now be a 2. That makes this a 1. These are 2 and 3 in some order. And this is a 1. And this is a 2. Sorry, this is in the wrong mode. That's a 1 and that's a 2. So that's a real start. Now 2 there and 2 there. We get a 2 here because of that one. That's good. How about ones? Yes, this 3 here has actually resolved that 1, 3 box originally, so that's straightforward. Okay, that's a good start. Now we might need to move on to the, oh, I can see in this row, where can an 8 go? Well, only here. So we can put that in and an 8 in one of those two. But let's move on to the 3 boxes next. This one can't be the 6 or 7 cage because of this 2. They would have to be 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4. So it's either 1, 3, 4 making 8 or 1, 3, 5 making 9. And it can't be 1, 3, 5 making 9 because that 1, 5, 3 wouldn't leave a space here. So this is 1, 3, 4 making 8 and they must be in that order. So the 8 cage is done. That's good. One of these is a 1, which is not a huge advance, but it's something to know. Ah, and what's the minimum this can be? These two are in the same box as 1 and 3. The absolute minimum they could be is 2 and 4. The minimum for this cell, which can see a 2, a 1 and a 4, is 3. And 9 is the maximum value we could have. So 3, 2, 4, I can tell which way around because of that 4. So we've done the 9 cage and the 8 cage. One of these is 6 and one of them is 7. That could be a 2. In fact, if this was 1, 2, 4, there's no way that this could be part of a 6 cage because it can't be 3, 2 or 1. So this is 1, 2, 3. And that's not the 1. This must be the 4, 2 and 1 like that. Lovely. Okay, so I think I can resolve this 1 and 4 now because of this 1. And this is the 3 because that is 2 and 1 there. 2 and 1 that way around because of that 1. And all the cages are done. So now, that's really neat. I mean, that is really neat. I've done that reasonably quickly, I think. But I do want to point out that's a really nice design to get to this stage. But from now on, I think we're in regular Sudoku mode. So we just need, we've used up the constraint. We just need to solve this as regular Sudoku. Now that 5 and 9 helped decide a couple of pairs here. This is 4 and 8, and look, we've got a 4 there, so we can work out which way around they go. 6 rules out those two. Then we get a 7, 5 pair there. 8 and 9 here. No, don't know which way around. 4 there and 4 there means 4 here. That has to be an 8 as the last digit possible in its cell. 7 and 1 complete the row. 8 and 9 complete that box. 9 for row 4. 5 and 6 here, decided by that 6. This is a 5, that's a naked single now. 3, this must be 3 because there's a 6 in its box. That's a 6. That resolves the 7, 6 pair. 9 here because there's a 3 above it and 3 there. 8, 9, 5 to go up here. Don't know which way around. Could do it by uniqueness, but that's probably not appropriate at this stage. 8 there. 9 here. That makes this a 9. 7 must go there. 8 there. 6 and 4 along the bottom to fill in. This is 6 and 7. I don't actually know the order yet, but it makes this a 9, and this one is a 7 for its box. That fixes the 5, 7. We've got 8 and 5 to fill in the right-hand column. That fixes the 5, 9 pair. 7 and 9 at the top. That fixes the 6, 7 pair, and this one must be a 6. So there we go, that solves the puzzle. But I mean, I do want to say that's a really cleverly designed puzzle. You can see that there are not many low givens in the grid, just 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and then a few other spaced out numbers, and a really beautiful way that the cages collaborate together. I think it was probably really important to spot that none of these 2-digit cages could have a 4 in, because until you know that, it's hard to advance at the top, I think, unless you found another way through that, which is quite possible. So thank you very much for watching. That's a really nice puzzle, Peter. Thanks for sending that, and most enjoyable. Do feel free to subscribe if you haven't yet, or follow us on Patreon, where there's more content, and there'll soon be a video explaining the very difficult January puzzle there, February puzzle there, and hoping to see you soon on the channel. Thanks very much for watching, and see you soon. Bye for now.